What's going on, everybody? Vince Goodrum here. It is Wednesday evening, and some of you guys have been inquiring about the Frank Tufano situation and whether he's pulling what's called a bait and switch there. Now, let me give you folks a little background in case you haven't been keeping up with any Tufano news. Essentially put, his place was raided by the Food and Drug Administration, the feds, and they determined some of his meat products was not supposed to be for human consumption. He whined and complained about the whole situation. The feds said that he could either give it out to friends and family or sell it for non human consumption purposes here. Subsequently, Frank tried a bunch of other things, such as trying to hand out the meat, which the Fed said no to it. So then he decides on the little pet food thing. And here's the thing, folks. There's no actual proof that he's trying to do a bait and switch there, but there are a couple of observations that I've actually made. Now, number one, if you look at his video, he has everything packed just about the same as any of his regular meat products here. Another indication is, the packaging itself. It doesn't even say pet food on it there. None of the items are labeled. Also, it doesn't appear that any of that meat concoction or whatever he has even been cooked there. And the biggest observation I made there is that the pricing on it is just about as expensive as buying actual meat at a grocery store for human consumption. Also, and I just want to point out the way he's been somewhat marketing this pet food. He said numerous times there, this food is so good there that, even a human can consume it there, basically. So those are observations that I've actually made there, but there's nothing really anyone can do about it technically. Once Frank goes and ships out the meat, he ships it as pet food. It's up to the consumer to decide whether they wish to eat the pet food or actually give it to their pets here. I can go to a grocery store and I can buy a can of cat food, and I can go home and either feed it to a cat or I can eat it myself. Now, that's something you definitely don't want to do, but you certainly can do it. So it appears that Frank has a pretty good thing going on, if in fact he's trying to pull a bait and switch there. But one thing Frank needs to remember, he may think he's bad like Michael Jackson. Unfortunately, he's LaToya, all right? And the feds are not going to simply just let him slide with this here, because chances are they probably got him under the closest watch. And if he even farts the wrong way or slips on a banana peel, they're going to go and pound his keister good, too. It's no different than the Blackstone Labs situation there, where they did a runaround with it for a couple of years as far as their products are concerned, and even when they were taken to court, they gave the courts a runaround for many years. Frank is playing a very dangerous game there. So, as far as this food is concerned, and given the comments that he's actually made about the feds there, that they got ears and they can hear what Frank's saying there, so they're just going to be watching and waiting in the shadows for Frank to screw up there. But as far as this is concerned, I know you guys have asked me, and like I said, it doesn't appear any of that food is actually labeled as pet food whatsoever. But if Frank puts on the bill of lading as being pet food, and he ships it out, and the consumer decides to eat it himself instead of actually feeding his pets, there's not really much you can do legally about it there. But Frank, I'm going to tell you this right now. Uh, this is a very dangerous game you're playing there. You know, very dangerous. And it can seriously not only cost you, uh, your business, but it can also cost you your freedom. I want you to think about that, okay? That's all I got to say today, folks. Like and subscribe to the Vince Goodrum channel. Click the link below. Peace and soul.